want to disappoint you, I'm not singing. But I'm very grateful and honored to have the opportunity to introduce the show. This is really an exciting time for BFA and the arts. The other night, Tuesday, we had a great instrumental concert. Tonight, we're going to have a great choral concert. And as I'm sure you know, and many of the kids who are performing will probably be part of, Shrek as well. Shrek the musical, yeah! That's great! We love Shrek! Right? We love Shrek. I'm a believer in Shrek, right? So, really looking forward to that, and looking forward to the show tonight. I want to thank each of the performers. We just got off the Halloween season, of course, and you know, it's sort of a time of magic, and it's almost as though we have these performances, we see how wonderfully talented our kids are, and it seems like, well, it must be just sort of magic. It just happens. That's not really accurate. Yes, we have talented kids, and we're grateful to have Mr. Messier as our choral conductor. But what happens both on his part and the part of the kids is hard work. Hard work beats talent every time. And so each of you who are in the audience supporting your children, supporting our arts program, you know that. And so I just want to give every participant my heartfelt thanks, and thanks to each of you for coming and supporting our kids, because without you and without that work ethic, we wouldn't have the kind of shows that we do. So it's really, I'm very proud in my 6th year at BFA to be part of this wonderful music program, and having BFA truly a center for the arts. Tonight's show, I know, features a lot of American folk music, and also a tribute to Vermont, when the kids will sing These Green Mountains, the Vermont state song. I think these are really important. As a history teacher in another life, forming cultural identity, I think, is extremely critical to young people's understanding of who they are, what their place is in their town or in their state or within the country itself. This has not been the easiest time for us as a nation. There's a lot of division, a lot of tension. And I think when we get a performance like this that harkens back to folk songs that shaped America's cultural identity, I think we can walk out with a sense of unity and pride, and the kids are leading us in that. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. Particularly, I know there'll be a soloist rendition of Amazing Grace, which is just a powerful song that has passed on through the ages. It was featured in Bill Moyer's PBS presentation a few years ago. And so I think it's not just the performance, but the spirit and the sense of cultural identity that this music brings us that will truly make this a wonderful show. When you think in terms of folk music being passed on from generation to generation, it's truly unifying. And I want to thank Mr. Messier for putting that program together for us tonight. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I know you are too. And I really do appreciate you coming and your support. And now I'm going to turn it over to our wonderfully talented students and Mr. Messier. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mosca. It's quite an honor to be here tonight and showcase the students' work. They've worked quite hard this semester. Very proud of their efforts. And thank you to Mr. Mosca for, it's almost unheard of for a high school principal to come to all these concerts and arts events at BFA. He attends lots of sports events too. But his unwavering support of the arts is so critical to what we're doing every day in the support in the community. So thank you, Mr. Mosca, for Now on with the show. Our first soloist tonight, all our soloists are preparing for the prestigious New England Music Festival that will occur. The tryouts will be in early December, and then if they make a rating, they'll go to the actual performance festival in March in Connecticut. It's quite prestigious. They work with national recognized choral conductors and instrumental conductors, and quite an experience overnight trip for them. a great opportunity. So our first soloist is Michael White. He'll be singing "Oh Danny Boy."
I'm Michael White, and we sing Danny Boy, which is an old Irish air. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the roses falling. It's you must go and I must bide. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow. Oh, when the valleys and white with snow, and I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so. But when he come and all the roses dying, and I am dead as dead I will maybe, you come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say and pray there for me, and I shall hear the soft dew tread above me, and though my grave will warm a sweeter be, for you will bend and tell me that you love me, and I shall sleep in peace until you come to me. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so.
Thank you, Michael. Our next soloist is Sophie Thompson. She's a sophomore in alto, and she'll be performing "A Quiet Thing."
I will be singing "A Quiet Thing" from Flora and the Red Menace. It's about a woman in the 1920s who finds out she gets a job and she expects this huge celebration, and then she goes outside and sees nothing. When your talk comes true, just the way you planned, it's funny but the bells don't ring. It's a quiet thing.
So our 2018 BFA Chamber Singers, our official touring group for BFA. So I'd like to introduce them. I prepared just a few notes for tonight about some of the tunes. Our first song, These Green Mountains, state song, as Mr. Mosca introduced earlier. Some interesting fun facts were written by Diane Martin, and she was selected by a committee in the state, said we want a new state song in the late 90s. And she was ultimately selected, and kind of the fun fact here was she went to the day that they were going to approve this, pass the bill for the new state song, and it actually got shot down because it was attached to a budget bill, and I think the session for the legislature went long that year, and unfortunately she had to see her song fail in the state legislature, and someone recognized, oh, she's here, and this should never have happened, and they approved the song a few days later. But it's a beautiful song. Lyrically, it talks about all the wonderful things about Vermont, and it has a beautiful melody. So the Vermont state song, These Green Mountains. So I would like to take a moment here to introduce our very special guest. Her name is Ellen Bowles, and she is from Northern Vermont University. She's a super senior, finishing up with her music education. And we're so lucky that she chose to come to BFA to student teach with us in the music department. And she has been wonderful to work with. Lots of great ideas, lots of energy, and just a big help to everyone here at BFA. So I would very much like to introduce Ellen Bowles, and she'll be conducting the next piece.
Hello. I'm very grateful to get this opportunity to work with not even just the chorus, but the chamber singers as well. This song comes from the Georgia Sea Islands, which are a set of islands off of the coast of Georgia. And they were settled by former slaves. who went off the coast and decided to settle there. So this song is going to have a spiritual kind of feel to it. And there's so many ways we can put it together. I hope you enjoy the way that we chose.
So, tune up. Song's supposed to kill some time over tuning flute. Simple Gifts is an American song written by Joseph Brackett, who resided in Gorham, Maine, where Mr. Moss is from. And we had a chance last year to visit Gorham, Maine at the University of Southern Maine at their flagship campus. We took our music tour, went and saw a Red Sox game, we went to Hartford and had all these wonderful workshops. And it was really neat to go back to Gorham and then to do some research and to learn about the Shaker song, Simple Gifts. Very popular. It became popular when Aaron Copland in the 40s arranged it for the ballet Appalachian Spring. And since then, we've heard it in a lot of pop culture, especially I hear a lot during election time in November. A couple fun facts about Shakers. They were called the Shaker Quakers. I'm not making this up. When they worshipped, they were very eclectic, and they tended to shake, and so they got nicknamed that as the Shakers. And there's not many left. In my research, it says there's only one village left of Shakers. Their communes are called villages, and there's only 2 of them left in the whole nation. And the reason for that is because they practiced celibacy, so they just kind of didn't multiply. So that's very interesting, I think. But we see that in their architecture, we hear their music, and we definitely see it in their furniture. Everyone has a piece of shaker furniture. What's that? They're good. So, perfect. So, simple gifts. Somebody's on flute. Listen to you on piano. So next we have Kara White. She's a sophomore alto at BFA here, and she'll be singing Amazing Grace. Let's welcome Kara to the stage.
My name's Kara White. I'm singing Amazing Grace, which the words were written by John Newton, who was a slave ship captain, and he got into this really bad storm, and he prayed to God and said, if you save me, then I will change my ways. And this is kind of his way of being like, thank you, and yeah.
Our next soloist is Caleb Barrett. He's a senior in the bass, performing again another folk hymn, Homeward Bound. Let's welcome Caleb to the stage.
Hi there. All right. This is a song about being away from a place that you love a lot and being able to return to that place.
In the quiet, misty morning, when the moon has gone to bed, when the sparrows stop their singing, and the sky is clear and red, then you're hoping I'll return to your thoughts, I'll soon be listening. In the road I'll stop and turn, and the wind will set me racing as my journey nears its end, and the paths I'll be retracing when I'm homeward bound again. Bind me not to the pasture, chain me not to the plow, set me free to find my calling, and I'll return to you somehow. In the quiet, misty morning, when the moon has gone to bed, when the sparrows stop their singing, I'll be homeward bound again.
Our final soloist for tonight is Leona Roque, and she is a senior here at BFA, and she's singing Richard Hudley folk song. He's a modern folk composer. Come ready and see me. Let's welcome Leona on stage.
Hello. So my piece is about love and waiting. Come ready and see me, no matter how late, from before the years run out. I'm waiting with the candle, knowing we'll lose. But you must stay still and watch o'er my sky, for no one can wait forever under the moonless sky. I can't wait forever, for the years have already I'm waiting with the candle, knowing we'll love. But you
Before we break the intermission, we'll take 10 minutes or so. I just want to recognize the work that Melissa Yule has done with our soloists. She comes in every enrichment period on the short enrichment blocks and works with our soloists, and that's where they're at tonight. It's a lot because of Melissa Yule, so let's recognize her. I want to announce here, we have a couple things on sale in the hall here. Pop sockets. They're the things that, is that what they call them, pop sockets? They go on the back of your phones. I had to look it up and say, is that one word too? And then we're doing this comfy chair raffle for our next concert in December when we have our combined holiday concert with band and dance and chorus. And you can raffle, we're selling tickets to sit in a comfy chair and drink hot cocoa. It's an awesome thing if you win. So, you know, sit in the bleachers. So check that out, raffle and that. And I do not believe we're doing the jewelry sale, but that will be available online and at the Christmas or the holiday concert. We'll be doing that then. And you can have your own personal engraved jewelry. It's really, really neat stuff, high quality stuff. 50% of the profit goes right to the student for the trip. So we're very thankful for that fundraiser. So enjoy the intermission here, about 10 minutes, and we'll reset the course and we'll be done for the evening. Thank you. Thank you for the 2018 BFA course. Our first song we're going to sing for you tonight as chorus is Cantate Domino. It's an Italian piece. It's written by Giuseppe Pittoni. I married an Italian, so I had to work my pronunciations for the family. But Pittoni was an interesting guy. He lived in the 18th century. He did most of his composing in the early 1700s. He was a church composer. He worked all over Rome, and he went to one basilica to the next, till he finally made it to St. Peter's, the big one, and became Kapellmeister at St. Peter's, which is the choir director. Very prestigious job. I often think like that here, BFA, I think, wow, all these schools and stuff, and BFA is kind of like, I'm the Kapellmeister here at the kind of the school on the hill. So some commonality with Pittoni. So Cantate Domino, very energetic. It's an Italian madrigal, so a lot of interweaving parts in the a cappella fashion. So Cantate.
Cantate Domino,
Ellen's joining us on the stage. She's going to do the next two songs, so I'll hand the mic over to her and help get the stage set up.
All right, so this next song is called Rise Up. It's a popular song that's been around for the past couple of years. It was performed by Andra Day. A lot of times we hear it in things like audition shows and in the background of some political movements like Hillary Clinton's campaign. And I got the chance to be working with this song since the very first day. This was the first song that we got to sing in choir, so we've grown together through this song. And I think they've enjoyed this experience as much as I have. We have 4 soloists tonight, so why don't you come down? We have Desiree, Hannah, Cassidy, and Autumn, and they're going to be doing solos throughout. So I hope you guys enjoy it.
Broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find no fighter, but I see it in you, so we can walk it out. Move mountains, we can walk it out. Mountains, and I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, high like the waves, I'll rise up, in spite of the ache, I'll rise up. And I'll do it 1,000 times again for you, for you, for you. Silence is quiet. It feels like it's getting hard to breathe. I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Mountains, take it to its feet. Mountains, and I'll rise up. I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again for you. I will rise, I will rise for you. I will rise for you. All we need is hope, and for that we have each other, and for that we have each other. And we will rise, 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 we will rise. I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, high like the waves, I'll rise up, in spite of the ache, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again.
So my next and last song with you guys is Putting on the Ritz. It's a song that I got to perform in my high school, and when we had another song opening, I said, why not try it? I think these kids have really enjoyed getting to know the song. It's an old tune by Irving Berlin. You might know it from the movie Young Frankenstein. They really enjoyed getting to pick apart the language of the time, because almost every line is a different reference to something. And we're going to have Eric Bushy joining us on banjo as well. So, and I really want to say thank you to Mr. Messier for letting me be here with his choir and taking over some of his rehearsal time. It means the world to me that these guys are all willing to have me here. So please enjoy the rest of the concert.
On that famous thoroughfare with their noses in the air, high hats in arrow collars, white spats and lots of dollars, spending every dime for a wonderful time. If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Putting on the Ritz. Different types who wear a day coat, pants with stripes and cutaway coats, perfect fits. Putting on the Ritz. Strolling up the avenue so happy, all dressed up just like an English chappie, very snappy. Come, let's mix with Rockefellers, walk with sticks or umbrellas in their mitts. Putting on the Ritz. Da-do-da-do-da-do-da. Da-do-da-do-da-do-da. Da-do-da-do-da-da-da. Da-da-da. Da-do-da-do-da-do-da. Da-do-da-do-da-do-da. Da-do-da-do-da-da-da. Strolling up the avenue so happy, all dressed up just like an English chappie, very snappy. Come, let's mix with Rockefellers, walk with sticks or umbrellas in their mitts. Putting on the Ritz. Da-do-da-do-da.
So our next song is Set Me as a Seal. This is a very popular text. You often hear it at weddings, both secular and religious. And it comes from the Book of Solomon, where seals, when I first started talking about the students, they're like, Mr. Messer, why are we singing about wildlife? I'm like, no. It's about seals, how important they were back in ancient times here, and of ownership. And with Set Me as a Seal, it's not really about husband owning a wife or vice versa. It's more about selflessness of ownership when two spouses seek nothing but the good in each other without any hint of exploitation. So very powerful words. It's by far our most moving work tonight. It's our newest work and probably the most difficult. Some really key things, some interchanges happening. And we're so lucky to have a wonderful string ensemble here. We heard them a couple nights ago, 13 players, and one of ththose players is Caleb Barrett, and he's joining us tonight on the cello part. So let's welcome Caleb back to the stage. They're gonna tune up so I get to talk. That's just a joke. I had to say that I remember when Caleb was a freshman, we had him come up and do a solo on cello with the pianist, and I think it's very nice that in his senior year he's back on stage with the cello and he's performing one last time. So thank you, Caleb. want to thank everyone for coming tonight. This is our last song. Is Rock My Soul. This is research. It's from a parable that was stories that are told to help people understand meaning and morality and what's right and wrong. And they're kind of taught these parables found in the New Testament about old stories. And with this song, "Bosom of Abraham" is a key phrase. What that means is it's like Father Abraham, and he's it's kind of like we're the child, and that's what it's sort of said in the song, Rock My Soul. And it tells the story of poor man Lazarus in the parable. Lazarus, he gets the scraps from the table of the master, and then they both die. And Lazarus goes on to a better place, and the master goes to Sheol, which is like the underworld for the Jewish people. And then Lazarus can see that he's suffering, and he's not suffering. Lazarus can see the master suffering, and it's kind of a dark story, but it's a cool story. And I always tell students that a lot of these African American spirituals, the story is a fun thing to sing about, and whether you believe it or not believe it, it's not our place to do that in school. But they're just really interesting stories, and they're set. They usually have a good beat, and they're fun to sing, and that's why we do a lot of these songs. Fun to sing. So, Rock My Soul, I guarantee you this will be an uplifter here. So, hang on.
Why don't you rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham? You rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. You rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Lord, you rock my soul. Why don't you rock my soul? Why don't you rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham? You rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. You rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Lord, you rock my soul. Why don't you rock my soul? Well, the rich man lives. Why don't you praise King Jesus? Why don't you praise the Lord? But when he died, why don't you praise King Jesus? Why don't you praise the Lord? He said,
Bum, 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 yeah, bum, 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 well, bum,
see yonder sun, see how does he run? Don't you never